Hey, welcome to another video. I'm going to do a quick unboxing of the Metal Gear Solid board game. I believe I've had this on pre-order for about 2 years, so it's finally arrived. Yeah, let's get stuck in. Okay, let's have a quick peek inside. Let's see what they sent. Okay, I'll take a moment just to unpack that nicely. Okay, managed to get it out. It's quite a big box. All the contents is all neatly packed in one board game box. Let me take that off, take the wrapping off, and let's have a look at what's inside. Okay, the wrapping's off, and I'll probably end up keeping this box. Metal Gear Solid fans will probably know why. And yeah, let's have a look inside. I'll turn this over first because this is the Integral Edition, so we'll have a look at what they've included because this is a pre-order. Alright, so I don't know if this is true, but they're showing the exclusive Metal Gear Rex figure. I was only supposed to get, I think, either the helicopter or the tank. So I don't know if this is just maybe generic packaging and I'll get a different item inside. Let's have a look. If I do get Metal Gear Rex, I'll be extremely excited because this is actually the exclusive reward you're supposed to get. There were people that backed this, I don't know if it was about 4 years ago, I don't know if it was even more, and they were guaranteed the Metal Gear Rex. I backed it about 1.5 years ago, and I was guaranteed the tank or the helicopter. I'll be ecstatic if I get the Metal Gear Rex. Let's have a look inside. Alright, I'm just covering the QR code because there's free digital VR missions, but this is pretty much the first item you see inside the box. And yeah, I'll take a little bit of a deeper dive to see what's inside. Okay, so essentially the first item in the box seems to be the tokens. And there's the token for the tank. I believe the order I originally placed in was going to offer the tank as the exclusive miniature. Then these are the different tiles for the missions. I'm just trying to work gently here because I'm using one hand. They are double-sided and there seems to be... Ooh, I've got to be careful, there's more than one tile stacked. These are really nice graphics. They definitely captured the aesthetic of the game in these tiles. Exceptionally well done, worth the wait. Looking forward to the VR missions because apparently I think you can play this game solo in VR missions, and then it allows for co-op as well. I'm not sure if the normal game is the regular missions and the VR is the co-op, but I think the VR is the solo, and when you play co-op it's the normal game, or however that works. I'm not sure how that would work, but oh, there's the helicopter pad. So this game does well. I can imagine them selling miniatures and figures for all the bosses. That would be a given. And I'm still waiting to see which exclusive I'm going to get, but I'm very excited to say, ooh, I still don't know if that's a tank or that's the Rex. That can be sort of the tread of a tank. Let's have a look when we get closer. Make sure I don't damage anything along the way. Cool, some outdoor mission areas. Really like when a game, especially these kind of games, when they put emphasis on different biomes and stuff, so it keeps the game feeling nice and unique and fresh. Oh, you can see which boss you're going to fight there just based on those crows. For any Metal Gear Solid fans, it's been a while since I played it, but I think they indicate that particular boss. There's a lot of mission tiles, so you get bang for your buck on this. I don't know how many tiles you use per mission, but I think you might sort of put 2 tiles together to make a single mission. I don't think it's just 1 tile. And they probably reuse some tiles for some missions as well. Is this the platform that the Rex comes out of? It might be. With those nukes. So I do believe so. Just recently got Metal Gear Solid, the collection for Nintendo Switch. And there's the Rex. I believe that's Rex right there. And I don't know if it gives you a tile for him, but there he is. I think that's Rex on the board. We're getting closer to seeing which miniature I got. It's not such a small miniature, it's quite big. Just notice now that there's the names of some things in the corners. Alright, so here's we've got the this is probably board game rules. Wow, it's pretty thick. That's pretty thick. And then I don't know what they give you on the back there. It's your missions. So there's a separate booklet for your missions and probably a book for the rules. I think there's a comic book in there too. And I don't know what this is for. It's Ocelot Stage. Okay, right. For any Metal Gear Solid fans, you'll know what that is. Here's the helicopter. There's the special tile for Metal Gear Rex. Some additional special tiles. What is this? A guard dashboard? I guess once I read the rules I'll know what's going on there. There's a whole bunch of player cards. There's Ocelot. That's really great because obviously the characters are the main, one of the big draws about this game. There's Ninja, Cyborg Ninja, also known as Grey Fox. It's actually my handle. There we go. I just spell it differently. It's Meryl. I like the artwork. It definitely aligns with the game's artwork. Not 100%. But really close. Yoji Shinkawa is the original artist that did the art for Metal Gear. So that's his art over there. You can see it's quite distinct, very painterly, suggestive. Plays a lot of shadows. He uses inks, and I think he inks it traditionally, and then he colors it traditionally with a bit of like he inks it traditionally and he colors it digitally, and he uses kind of like a watercolor approach. And you can see the difference on the art on the cards is slightly different, but it still matches the game's aesthetic. Very few can achieve Yoji Shinkawa's aesthetic, so no fault there. Would have been great if they managed to land him as an artist on the game, but I'm pretty sure Hideo Kojima has him busy on what's it, Death Stranding 2. So here's cool. There's the Rex on the one side, and there's the tank on the other side, and there's the helicopter on this side, and we've got Liquid Snake on that side. We've got Mantis. Curious to see how they're going to do the Mantis reading your memory card thing in this game. That'll be very funny. Psycho Mantis. So it seems like the characters have double sides, but Liquid shares a card with a vehicle. So I believe, but I can't remember if there's Raven. I can't remember. I think Liquid is. I don't know if he controls a helicopter at one stage. And it's confirmed. I got the Rex. It's a super exciting discovery. I'll open it up in a moment. We'll have a look. So here's the card box, memory box, your codec. I actually learned something recently where the term codec was actually only introduced when the game got localized in English. It's not a term used in the Japanese language of the game. But I think they liked it so much that they eventually adopted it. But that was actually done by the translation team. There's quite a few terms that was, and sort of writing liberties that the person who did the local translations did. And eventually he actually got removed from the Konami team because he took so many liberties. But local, like English-speaking fans were happy that he made those changes. I like how they made the dice as those hexagons. Very cool. This sort of shapes on the dice. But yeah, this is just an interesting fact on back in the day how localization was handled and the amount of passion and care that the people that handled localization and translation, what kind of passion and care they took. But at the same time, I work in games myself, and if I had to find, I work in the creative sort of department across 3D and 2D and story and quests, and I've been involved in all of those fields. So if I had to find out during localization that somebody had rewritten the story when doing localization and took liberties, I too would be a little bit hot under the collar. So I can see where Hideo Kojima would come from that angle, absolutely. But at the same time, we grew up with that localization translation, and we're quite loyal to that. So at the same time, I can see why fans would come and defend that guy. So I'm not going to go and rip, maybe I will rip them out, but let's start with Grey Fox. Got my son standing next to me, enjoying the unboxing. So there we go, Grey Fox. AKA me. I wonder what kind of, if there's any way you can play as any other characters. That would be fun. If somehow through additional rules or something, maybe co-op. I'm very excited to see how that's all handled in this game. So here we go, we've got Solid Snake. And he uses a code name Pliskin in Metal Gear Solid 1. And that's actually the name of, what is that movie again? The character Snake Plissken is from the movie that this game is based on. The name will come to me at a later stage. But anyways, the character in that movie is called Snake Plissken, and Solid Snake calls himself Pliskin in Metal Gear Solid 1. It's crazy how back in the day people could wear their inspirations on their sleeve, and people sort of wouldn't come out the woodworks trying to sue you. Because Hideo Kojima definitely wore his inspirations on his sleeve. He didn't hide his inspirations. So I'm just glad that I just let him be. So that was Meryl, by the way. Here's Otacon. Yeah, these miniatures are great. I am not going to try to paint these. I've started many years ago, started painting my Lord of the Rings Adventures in Middle-earth, Journeys in Middle-earth miniatures. And I'm glad I did, because they look a lot better. There's so many miniatures and so many sort of duplicates of miniatures that I'm glad I did. But I'm still not done. I'm only halfway through. It's a lifestyle if you choose to paint these games. So I highly recommend to not do that. So I've done that once in my life, and I believe I will probably keep it at that. I've painted 3D miniatures, but yeah, when it comes to board games, I'll be happy to play this just as is. And it's actually got quite a nice aesthetic. I like how the colors they've used. It works well. I can see how this would look good on the board. I really like the soldiers. Obviously for molding purposes, it's expensive to make a mold, so they would have just made one mold. But actually it looks like they've got 2 molds, so that's cool. It's really great that they sort of branched out and have at least 2 variants of poses. I don't know if they're going to be, if you can use either character, or if the one's sort of harder enemy. Forget who. So we had Solid Snake there. We've got Grey Fox. We've got Meryl. We've got Otacon. I don't know if this is. I think this is Meryl in disguise. I believe this is Meryl in disguise. I'll put it in my hand so it focuses. That's when she wears the enemy's uniform. Alright, then we've got Ocelot. I'm going to try and get them in my hand so they focus a bit better. There we go. That's an amazing miniature of Ocelot. Very dynamic. Dig the cloak. Well, not cloak, his leather jacket just blowing in the wind. Super dynamic. Like, whoever did these, great job. See if I can get him back in there. I work very gently with miniatures because sometimes they've got small little parts that break, but it looks the way they've designed these that they don't have too many protruding little parts. Sometimes they design things with very small parts, like Meryl's arm. That's a little bit thin. Obviously, Grey Fox's Grey Fox's sword. It's not a major risk, but slightly because his arm. You've got Solid Snake's gun, but most of the time, I think they keep most of the components close to the chest, so they're not protruding little small things that can break off. On that note, you've got Psycho Mantis here, and I would say it's also fairly firm. Like his arms and his legs are stretched out, but they're not too thin that I'm worried that they'll break off. Also, phenomenal miniature for Psycho Mantis. And then we have Sniper Wolf. And I'm not talking about the YouTuber. I have no comment on that. Okay, so you can see her rifle is a little bit bent, and that's not a problem. Just a bit of warm water. Don't make the water boiling hot. Just slightly warm water, a little bit more warm than you expect, but just not boiling water. So you take boiling water, add a bit of cold water to it, then you've got a good mixture. And you just dip this in that. It'll make it nice and soft. Push it down gently, don't break it off, and then dip it into ice cold water just to lock it in place. And that's how you straighten it. They've done a phenomenal job on their packaging. The fact that they used obviously branding on the box, number one. The fact that they used the foam around the actual board game box to protect its corners. This is my kind of people. And then we've also got another dynamic pose with Liquid Snake. Also got his leather jacket blowing in the wind. And then, obviously they're allowing for 2 players, but they've got 2 cardboard boxes. That's very interesting. It's not like Lego where they give you extra pieces in case you lose one. Looks like just provided. There he is, crawling with the box over his head. Love that they included this in the game. I listened to the developers talk and they sound like fans. So I have faith that they would have done this game justice. This might actually become my favorite board game. It depends on how hard it is to get it out on the table. Very interesting that they gave 2 cardboard boxes. Okay, and we've got Metal Gear Rex. Now, I don't know if there's any small little pieces underneath that I can break off. But I'm just going to pause this for a moment so I can see. Okay, so absolutely incredible. I think I'm still in shock that I got this because I was a little bit kicking myself that I didn't pick up on the fact that this board game was available when the original Kickstarter or pre-order was available. And a friend of mine at work actually said, "Hey man, would you like this board game for your birthday?" And at that stage, they were offering the tank. So that was literally the third round of orders, because the first round was this Metal Gear Rex, second round was the helicopter, third round was the tank, and it looks like they've just gone for the Metal Gear Rex. The reality is I think they saved money on molding. I don't think they molded the helicopter or the tank. I think they just went straight for this one. Now this figure, please be warned, that gun at the bottom, I can see, we're talking about sort of stress points or weak points. That would be an area that could easily break off. The rest of it seems pretty sound, really rock solid. And then you've got the additional attachments for the Metal Gear Rex. Cool, and that is it. Big celebration on my part. Very happy with this discovery and that it's finally arrived, and I can see the effort they've put into I'm just stalling here because I'm just trying to put this back in gently with one hand. The TLC they used in making this. And it looks like it packs away quite nicely with all the blister trays. Hopefully all the cards are in good condition. I don't like it when they don't provide a little tear, stippled tear for the cards, because then I have to stick a blade in there and try to tear this off. And it's so tight, sometimes you can damage the cards, so just be careful when you open up your blister packs. And then, memory box, that's interesting. It'll be interesting to see what people use that for. But top notch, super top notch. I'll be curious to see if it comes with the comic book, or if the comic book is purely just the QR code. So I'll pause for and have a look. And we'll just add, with me packing this back in, it looks like there's definitely openings left for if you want to upgrade. So I can imagine that the tank would probably go there and some additional figures or something. Or it's just them making that the blister pack is touching and keeping the miniatures in. But then in that case, they wouldn't have put these dividers in. So very interesting, because there's sort of excessive space in the blister here. So it looks like they've catered for some more figures. So potentially setting themselves up for future expansions. Okay, so these are the 3 smaller books that were included. So there's the VR missions, 1 to 4 players, the codex, and the rule book. So that's interesting. So I'm guessing the other missions are maybe in the thicker book. I think that's a campaign, so we'll have a look now. I'll just add the fact that the rule book is just that is a very good thing. I don't want to learn a sort of role-playing book thick book of rules, so that's really good. Rules light is up my alley. Okay, so when it comes to the main book, it is the missions, but the great news is, and also just to confirm, the missions are also 1 to 4 players, but it's the comic book and the missions all in one. I absolutely love that they did this, that they haven't just provided a separate comic book, it's the comic book and the missions all in one book. So the campaign and the comic book merged. Top-notch work. The designer and team behind this game. I haven't played it yet, but at first glance, it looks like they smashed it out the park. Anyways, thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the quick unboxing, and I hope to get this to the table soon. And seeing how thin the rule book is, I can envision that it won't be too long. Plus, I got my buddy from work who got this for my birthday, who's going to be keen to play it because he's also a Metal Gear Solid fan. So, anyways, thanks for joining me. Catch you next time.